So he researches, investigates. He's a wise man now, learned. And he finds out Count Mondego is a gambler and has many debts. So he goes and buys the bank that has all the debts and calls them in to put the pressure on Count Mondego and to ruin him. That's his goal, revenge, to ruin him. Now in the story also, he has arranged for the smugglers to be his friend and capture the guy. So he gets invited to the 18th birthday party of Albert, the son of Countess Mondego and Count Mondego. Now there's a moving scene when he gets in there and she sees him. She comes over and her eyes say it though. She tells him how grateful she is for him saving his son because he saved his son. Although he orchestrated it to do this for his revenge plot. And then she's dancing with him and she recognizes him sort of, or at least she thinks she does. He doesn't let on. But there's something she notices. See, he never stopped being the love of her life. Her love was true. And Mercedes, by the way, in the story, is the only one that's ever recognized him. No one else does. She kind of starts to recognize him. But it's not really until he does this toast. But so he does this toast, we'll save the toast. It's a great speech toast for men. So we'll save that to the ending. We'll put that at the ending for you so you have something to look forward to at the end. He does this great toast. And by the way, Albert's father is supposed to do the toast. If you think it's important to build better, stronger men, we would appreciate it if you could subscribe. But he's too busy with Villefroy working out machinations and plots to take and steal gold from. So he doesn't do it, but the Count is there. And he does something fantastic at this toast, but we'll go into it at the end. He saves her the humiliation by doing a toast himself and saying that he asked to do the toast to save face for Mercedes. And then he does this. And he used to do this thing with his hair. And she notices it and she believes it's him. And you can see the love in her eyes. She still has it all the way. So because she sees him do this, which is the thing he had done at the beginning of the film, that she says, don't do that, you'll go bald. She puts herself in his coach after the birthday party. And she's sitting there and she says, Edmund. And he says, who is this Edmund? And he denies it. But you can still see the love in her eyes. By the way, the actress that plays Mercedes is from Poland and got over here because her father was involved in Amnesty International and the Polish Solidarity Movement in Poland, and they were granted political asylum in the United States. And they came to New York City. Anyway, they're back in the coach, and his friend Jacopo speaks truth to him, and you want a friend that will do this for you. He says, after he kicks Mercedes out of the coach and denies that he is Edmond Dantes, but he does make a mistake. He says, you see, you've said it yourself. I'm not Edmond Dantes. But she had never said that. He says, you have a fortune and a beautiful woman. You have a fortune and a beautiful woman who loves you. She does it all through her eyes. You can see it. Take the woman. Take the money and go and live your life. His friend is telling him, stop the revenge thing. Stop the plot. Take the woman. You've got the gold and go. That's a good friend, right? Because there's risk to everything he's doing. So he's saying, get it. You've got the beautiful woman. You've got the gold. Go. Get. And he says, I'm still your man. I will protect you, even if it means I must protect you from what? What does he say? From yourself. And you may need a friend to protect yourself from yourself, right? From yourself. So we need to do that for friends. Do you do that for friends? Now he sets up the chief prosecutor who was the chief magistrate who turned on him, and they do it in a sauna, and it's pretty clever. He gets him to confess, so he gets rid of that threat and takes out his revenge against the chief magistrate. The magistrate is sent off to prison in that cage. Very interesting, because what he sent him to is his fate, right? So he ends up going into the black carriage and off to prison. And the chief magistrate had also killed his own parent, had Fernand do it, Count Mondego, to do it. Now later she shows up actually at his house, and she says, "I know it's you." She says, "Where have you been?" And he tells her, "I've been in the Chateau d'If for 13 years. 13 years. Remember early, she had tied a string around her finger. Did she keep it on? She holds it up. Still wears the string. She said she'd never take it off, and she didn't. Now that's a virtuous woman. That's a great woman, right? She says, "Let it go, Edmund. God has offered us a new beginning." See, she still believes in God. God's all the way through here. What does she advise him to not do? Don't slap his hand away. He's given you an opportunity. Sometime you men will get an opportunity. What you do with it will be what is important. You will have opportunity come your way. Point is, will you take it or stay in something else in your past? Will you go forward or stay in the past, or stay in revenge, or stay in something not negative? So she says, God has offered us a new beginning. Edmund says, can I ever escape him? Mercedes says this. Remember what he said to the prison runner earlier? He said, no, he is in everything. She's such a great role model. This is a great role model for women, this Mercedes character. She has so much belief, love, and hope in her heart. She's been pretty mistreated by her husband. But she still has the faith, love, and hope, cardinal virtues. So you got her, you've got Ebi Ferreri, you've got a lot of great model characters here for role models for men and women. Now, Villefort and Count Mondego had conspired to steal his gold. So Count Mondego is running out of options. They've called in his debts. He's trying to escape and get away. They know he was a part of the murder. So he's gone to get his gold because earlier in the story, he made a deal with Danglars. They've already arrested Danglars. He's gone. So basically, the Count of Monte Cristo has taken care of all his opponents. And we're almost at the ending now. And this is a great scene. He's gone to this old place, his other home, where he thinks he's stored the gold. And he starts looking through it and frantically opens all these boxes, which they've switched on him because the smugglers ran on. So he's trying to get his last hope, Count Mondego, his gold. He's completely broke. They're going to arrest him. And all he finds is dirt, dirt, dirt until he gets to another box. And in that box, there's a single thing in that box, a chess piece, one king. Count of Monte Cristo walks up behind him and says, kings to you, Fernand. It was the game they played as kids. Now at the end, Fernand, Count Mondego, shoots Mercedes. He tries to kill her to take that away. He just wants to take things away from people. He doesn't want them to have what he can have. There are people like that, right? But fortunately, Jacopo threw a knife and makes the gun miss. So she's shot. She's laying there. Fernand, Count Mondego, runs out. Edmund lets him go. He says it's over. It's finished. And Jacopo sees God in it too, that she wasn't shot. He says, God sees you out of the corner of his eye, Edmund, because his woman's okay. But Edmund lets him go. He could have killed him. He doesn't. He lets him go. Fernand leaves, and you make decisions in life. Fernand decides that he just can't handle it. He can't have Edmund having something he can't have. So he turns the horse around and calls him out. They have to have a final confrontation. And even Jacopo, who earlier told him not, says you must finish this now. He will never quit. Mercedes, in a womanly fashion, tells him he must stay. She doesn't want him risking his life, and she wants it over. She has told him to finish it. Let's just leave. But he's a man, and he knows what must be done. He must finish him, or he will never let them go and never let them live in peace. So he does that. He goes out and fights him, and it's a great scene because Jacopo keeps the son out of the fighting. Fernand even says, I could not live in a world where you have everything and I have nothing. Great dialogue in this movie. So what does the story tell you? Many role models for men. Jacopo is true to his word and does what he says. He also has the manly virtue of loyalty. The priest, Ebbe Faria, develops Edmund. He has great faith, love, and hope. Lots of virtues, resilience, resolve, courage, initiative. And as well, the Count of Monte Cristo has initiative in his plan, whether you think it's bad or ill or good. And it does lead him to God's purpose for him. Mercedes has stayed loyal to God, her son, and never lost the love for Edmund. She said she would always wear it, and she did what she said. She kept her word. Jacopo kept his word and was his man forever. They were friends. They had a great friendship. He's a changed man, the Count of Monte Cristo. He's turned his whole life around, transformed himself from a poor person, from a prison inmate with no hope and no life, to the Count of Monte Cristo at the top of society, finding the love of his life. You can be what you want to a degree in life if you take action. You can have friendships. You can have loyalty. If you don't stop when you meet adversity, you use your mind, creativity, and you keep going, and you have friends, and you have the virtues of courage, resilience, resolve, these virtues. At the end, he looks up and says to the priest, "You were right. All that was used for vengeance will now be used for good." So you can see he's completely changed. He's going to take this wealth and use it for good now. He's had a major transformation from revenge to he's now going to do good. Edmond Dantes has changed. Count of Monte Cristo has changed. Without that one friend, by the way, he never would have made it. Without Ebbe Faria, he wouldn't have made it. Never would have made it out of prison. You need friends. Never would have escaped. Never would have learned. Story shows you how meaningful and important friends are. He says all that he needs is here. What is that? He does have wealth, but what does he say? As he talks to the priest and looks up, of course, the priest is dead now. He says, "The only things I care about are walking with me. Let's go home," he says to them. A word about his betrayer, Count Mondego. Count had all he had as a beautiful, sweet woman, position, title at a time when that meant everything, but he was never going to be happy. He always wanted more. Some people are like that. What are the real things that make you happy, and what do you want in life? And who can you help? We should always be about others too. Who can you help? What friends can you help? What can you do for others? So in the end, he says, "I have everything I need." What is that? His girl, love of his life, his son, and his friend, Jacopo. Friendship, his woman, and his son, family. You can become the man you want with virtue if you work at it. He did. He turned his life around and finally realized what was really important. I said we'd save the speech for last, so we'll do that still. The birthday speech he does for Albert. The toast that he saved Mercedes the humiliation from having to do it because it was the husband's responsibility. And here's that toast, the speech. And it's very applicable to men today, how you react. And here's the toast. Life is a storm, my young friend. You will bask in the sunlight one moment, be shattered on the rocks the next. What makes you a man is what you do when that storm comes. You must look into that storm and shout as you did in Rome, do your worst, for I will do mine. Then the fates will know you as we know you. That's on the mark. What makes a man is what you do when that storm comes. Building better, stronger men for better lives. Thank you. If you think it's important to build better, stronger men for society, we would truly appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button right now and help us build better, stronger men.